In this exercise, I'm going to show you how to use the crop operation to use one path to cut through a bunch of other paths inside of Illustrator. I've gone ahead and saved my progress so far as capeandsmock.ai. And the idea is this robot right here. We're now looking at the lower region of the robot, his torso, as it were. He's got kind of a lab coat on, let's say. And so what I'm calling the smock is this white area in the background, the main white of the body. And then what I'm calling the cape is really this opening right here that will reveal the grill line. So I want these grill lines to appear just inside of the V of the cape. And we're looking to get this effect here. This is the ghostrobot.ai file, so the finished version of the illustration. And you can see the grill lines only appear inside of the area that's not covered by the cape. All right, so we're going to use the cape to crop the grill lines. So let's switch back here to Cape and Smock. Now, the first thing that we need to do is make sure that we get rid of all these strokes and convert them over to fills. And so I'm going to start by clicking on any one of these grill lines because they're all grouped together. I went ahead and grouped them in advance. And we can actually see these, I believe, inside of the layers palette. If I twirl open my pathfinders right there, and I'll go ahead and hide the stroke palette for a moment, and we can see there's this group of grill lines right there. So it's not too far down the stack at this point. Go ahead and select all of them. They are open paths, which of course is dangerous. But what's really bad about them at this point is they have strokes and no fills, which means that the Pathfinder operation is going to completely obliterate them, and that's not what we want. So we need to convert them to paths that have fills and no strokes. So go up to the object menu. Same thing we've seen before. Go to path and then choose outline stroke. And I should say something. Outline stroke really is a Pathfinder operation. It's just the Pathfinder operation that isn't included with the Pathfinder palette over here. And it oftentimes is a first step before applying the Pathfinders. So go ahead and choose the command, or if you loaded D keys, Control / Command / on the Mac. We now have a series of closed and filled paths that have no strokes at all. All right, the next step is to grab this shape that's going to serve as the cropper. So this is the shape that's going to crop the grill lines. Now, there's two things that have to happen with the crop shape here. One is that it needs to be filled. So again, we need a fill and no stroke. However, we need to reinstate the cape outline ultimately with its stroke intact because we're going to lose it in just a second, as you'll see. So we need to copy it is basically what it comes down to. As you work with Pathfinder operations, you'll learn to recognize when you need to do this, but oftentimes you'll need to copy your shape before you send it into a Pathfinder operation because you're going to lose it in the course of the Pathfinder operation and you want to regain it later. So when in doubt, just go ahead and choose a copy command. If you think something's going to go amiss, then just go ahead and copy in advance. So I'm going to go up to the edit menu and choose copy, Control C, Command C on a Mac, and we've now copied this cape shape right here. Now what we need to do is go ahead and click on this switch icon here or press Shift-X in order to swap the fill and stroke so that we have a filled shape without any stroke associated with it whatsoever. Now I'm going to go ahead and change the color of the fill right here by bringing up my color palette, switching over to the fill like so, and let's just grab a random color like so, like this red. What I want you to see here is that the cropping shape is in back of the grill lines. Now, this is something you have to come to terms with in Illustrator in general. When you're masking, as we'll see in a later chapter, and when you're cropping, whatever is serving as the mask or the crop or what have you has to be in front of everything that it's going to crop. That is a really strange thing, in my opinion, but it's the way it is. So you need to press Control-Shift right bracket or Command-Shift right bracket on the Mac to go ahead and pop that guy to the top of the stack, and you can see it right there now at the top of the My Pathfinders layer. Now then, go ahead and shift-click on any one of the grill lines to select all of these guys. And now we are finally ready to crop. And here's what you do. You go over to this icon right there, inside the Pathfinder palette, of course, and you click on it. And you have now successfully cropped your shapes, as you can see here. So the grill lines have now been cropped by the topmost shape, and everything's been brought to the top of the stack. So there's our group right there. Wunderbar. Now, of course, as I was saying, I'm going to click off the path so that we can see. As I was saying, we lost the cape outline. It's still kind of there, but it's part of this larger group of junk that's going on here. And it's going to make some later editing difficult if we decide to stick with the lines that are there and they're invisible right now and so on. Why not just paste our original path into place? So I'm going to press Control F or Command F on the Mac in order to paste that path to front, the one we copied just a moment ago. Now I'm going to scroll upward a little. You can see that we've got a lot of overage right here, a lot of leftover line. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to press Control Y or Command Y in order to switch to the outline mode. And just to make sure that I get things exactly right, I'm going to press Control and Spacebar or Command and Spacebar on the Mac to get my zoom tool. And I'm going to marquee around this area right there so that we're really zoomed in. What am I at? 4,331%, 0.25. And so we're way zoomed in. Now I'm going to go ahead and grab my scissors tool, this guy right there. If you don't see it, then it's probably the eraser tool. Click and hold on eraser and choose scissors. You also have a keyboard shortcut of C. And you want to click at this location right there in order to cleave that path. And this top path for me is still selected. It's important that the path be selected before you operate on it with the scissors tool. And I'm going to go ahead and spacebar drag over to this location right there. And if you can't tell where you are, you can sort of zoom out, or you can bring up the navigator palette and find your way around the illustration. But this is the other area that I need to cut, one of the other areas. So I'll go ahead and zoom in, and I'll click at this location right there. And it's just helpful to be zoomed in, because then you can see exactly where that intersection is. All right, now I'll go ahead and take my own advice and bring up the navigator palette. And find that my advice isn't all that helpful when this guy is so teeny. Let's go ahead and make this palette bigger. And then I'm going to drag up to here so that we're inside the heart. See this region right there where the cape is intersecting with the heart shape? And we want to get rid of that stuff as well because we don't want the cape to go in there. I'll show you what I mean. I'll press Control Y again, Command Y on the Mac. See how it goes up into the heart? That's not what we want. The heart is a hole inside of the robot because he has no heart. See how it's so sad? All right, so go ahead and grab your black arrow tool once again. Click on that path outline to make sure it's active because you have to have a selected path in order to operate on it with the scissors tool. Then go ahead and grab your scissors again. Press Control Y, Command Y on the Mac in order to switch to the outline mode. You can, of course, also, by the way, go up to the View menu and choose the first command at the top of the menu. And then I'm going to go ahead and click right there at that intersection. And that deselects the path that I want to work on. So I'll press the Control key to temporarily get my black arrow tool. And that's the Command key on the Mac. And then click on this path outline like so in order to make it active. And then I'll click there with the scissors tool after releasing the Control or Command key. And I have now cut the path exactly where I want it cut. And I'll go ahead and zoom out a few times, don't you know? And then I'll get my black arrow tool. I'll click on this top path in order to select it and then press the backspace key or the delete key on the Mac. You'll still see it here in the preview mode. That's because we also have the invisible guy that's part of this group right here. Don't worry about that. And if that mixes you up, just go ahead and press Control Y or Command Y on the Mac to switch back to the preview mode. And you'll see that that is gone away now. All right, let's go ahead and scroll down. Click this guy right there. Shift click on this guy in order to select those two, and then press the backspace key or the delete key on the Mac to get rid of them as well. And we have now done an awesome job of cropping our grill lines inside of our cape and keeping our cape outline as well. In the next exercise, we're going to get to work on these Frisbee shapes right here.